Hey everyone! Welcome to Mythical Masala with Neev, where we are about to unlock the wildest, most magical stories from ancient India. I'm your host, Neev, and I get to take you on this journey through the greatest legends of Indian mythology. From magical myths to brave heroes and tricky demons, these stories are packed with action and some pretty cool life lessons. Ready? Let's jump in! Welcome back, Masala fans. Just when you think the Pandavas might get a break, fate pulls out another card.
Or maybe a bow in this case.
Right, one impulsive act by Arjuna and boom, exile, drama, separation. But also, new chapters waiting to unfold.
Because nothing in the Mahabharata is without purpose. Even an exile becomes an epic adventure.
So today, we follow Arjuna into the wild. Quite literally, as he walks away from Indraprastha, straight into destiny. Last time, we left you off in the newly built city of Indraprastha, where let's just say, things weren't exactly peaceful.
You would think, after surviving an exile, defeating Bakasur, and winning Draupadi's hand, the Pandavas would be taking it easy.
Except that they all married the same woman. Yeah, that complicates things. Though Draupadi had accepted all 5 Pandavas as her husbands, as per Kunti's word and divine will, emotions ran high. Arjuna loved her deeply. Bhima doted on her. Even the usually calm Yudhishthira had his quiet moments of jealousy. And Nakul and Sahadev? Well, they were trying to stay out of it.
But Draupadi was just one person, and human hearts, they aren't always as disciplined as warriors' minds.
The tension was growing, unspoken but simmering, until a very special guest showed up at the palace.
Narayana, Narayana. Narad, of course, the celestial sage, always on the move, always with a purpose. And today, that purpose was damage control.
Narad sat with the Pandavas and gently shared the story of Sunda and Upasunda, 2 mighty Asura brothers. They were inseparable, powerful, brilliant, terrifying. Together, they performed intense penance in the Vindhya mountains, summoning Lord Brahma. Brahma asked what boon they wanted. Immortality, they said. But Brahma shook his head. No one can live forever, he said. Choose something else. So they asked, let no one be able to kill us except each other. Brahma raised an eyebrow and granted the wish.
They had no enemies now, right?
You would think so. Sunda and Upasunda went on a rampage, conquering devas, destroying kingdoms. No one could stop them.
Oh no, now what?
Now, the gods turned to Vishwakarma, divine architect of the heavens. And Vishwakarma created Tilotma, a celestial glowing like starlight adorned with gemstones crafted to mesmerize.
And mesmerize she did.
Yes, when the brothers saw her, obsession overtook reason. Each demanded her, neither would back down. From partners in power, they turned to rivals in rage. In a storm of jealousy, Sunda and Upasunda fought and killed each other.
Wow, that happened fast.
Narad looked around at the Pandavas. These 5 brothers bound by destiny, and now love for one woman. You are wiser than they were. But even wisdom needs reminding, he said. So, we got 5 brothers, 1 wife, and a whole lot of divine guidance from Narad.
Which led to a very formal, I must say very fair, arrangement.
Each brother would have a month with Draupadi. Everyone else, strictly off limits. And if anyone broke the rule, boom, instant 12-year exile, no exceptions.
Now, that kind of an agreement takes serious willpower. I mean, imagine sharing your partner on a schedule. Not easy. But the Pandavas, they were all about dharma, duty, discipline, and sacrifice. 12 years sounds quite extreme, though.
Seems like things were working out until one day, a desperate Brahmin rushed to the palace gates. His cows had been stolen, his family was in danger, and he needed help, fast. Yudhishthir, the king, was with Draupadi at the time. As per the pact, no one could enter.
And the only warrior available was Arjun.
That's right. But Arjun's bow and arrows were inside that very room.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Leaving your most important asset behind. I guess he must have been sad handing over Draupadi.
Well, Arjun had to choose between breaking the promise or have the king, his brother, be cursed by the Brahmin.
So what do when your honor clashes with your promise? When your loyalty, your brother, stands in the way of your duty to protect? Hey, this reminds me of a very similar situation in the Ramayana when Lakshman was outside standing guard. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, go towards the end of season 1 and check it out. So, what did Arjun do?
He chose action. He stepped into Draupadi's chamber, retrieved his weapons, explained the situation to his brother and Draupadi, and walked straight into exile.
No arguments, no delay, just goodbye? I hope he at least helped the Brahmin out, or all this would have been a moot point.
Yes, he did. And this is what makes Arjun so legendary. Not just his archery, but his ethics. He didn't break the rule out of greed or desire. He did it to uphold a greater dharma.
And thus began a new chapter for Arjun, one that would lead to unexpected adventures and wild encounters.
During his exile, Arjun wandered through forests, crossed rivers, and climbed mountains. It was a journey full of discovery, reflection, and surprises. One of the strangest happened by the banks of the Ganga.
Please don't tell me someone falls in love with him.
Oh, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Arjun decided to bathe in the sacred river, but the moment he stepped in, a powerful current dragged him underwater.
Was it magic? A curse? A fish with muscles?
Even better, it was Ulupi. The Naga princess. Graceful, radiant, and absolutely fearless.
Sounds like the snake version of a mermaid to me.
She had seen Arjun and fallen for him instantly. So she did what any mythical serpent princess would do. Captured him and brought him to her underwater kingdom.
So much for a peaceful bath.
Ulupi wasn't just an admirer. She was noble, sincere, and deeply impressed by Arjun's character. She told him of her love and asked him to be her husband.
And he said yes?
He did. Surprised at first, but touched by her honesty and loyalty, Arjun agreed. Their union was short, but Ulupi gave him something priceless, a divine boon.
Let me guess. Some superpowers?
Kind of. She blessed Arjun with invincibility in water, strength, protection, and the ability to fight in aquatic battles without fear. A gift that would help him in the future.
Okay, that's a very useful relationship perk, I must say.
After a few days, Arjun prepared to continue his exile. He thanked Ulupi and said his goodbye. She remained in her mystical river kingdom, but their story wouldn't end there.
Because didn't they have a son, Iravan, who will one day fight in the war of Kurukshetra?
Exactly. He would offer one of the most selfless sacrifices in the epic. But for now, Arjun's journey continued. Arjun's journey next brought him to a kingdom unlike any other, Manipur. Nestled in the northeast, this land had its own distinct customs, And one of the most fascinating was its matrilineal tradition. The throne was passed down not to sons, but to daughters.
This Manipur is the same state as in today's modern India, located in the northeast part of the country. Wait, so the princesses inherit the kingdom in Manipur?
Exactly. And the princess in question was no ordinary royal. She was Chitrangada, the only child of King Chitravahana, a warrior, a scholar, and fiercely devoted to her people.
So of course, Arjuna's gonna fall for her.
Naturally, when he saw her, confident in her armor, skilled with the bow, respected by her people, he was captivated. But unlike some impulsive tales of love, this one was grounded in respect. Arjuna approached King Chitravahana with a sincere proposal.
And I bet the king was like, no way, I need her here.
You're spot on. The king was hesitant. Chitrangada was Manipur's heir. If she married Arjun and left, who would carry on the royal legacy?
So, what did Arjun do?
He made a promise. He said, she will stay in Manipur. This is her kingdom. If we have a child, he will stay here too, to inherit the throne and serve this land. That assurance touched the king. And so, the wedding was held.
Ah, I love that. A marriage built on mutual duty and dignity.
Exactly. Arjun and Chitrangada spent a beautiful chapter of their lives together. She admired his valor. He respected her leadership. In time, they had a son, Babruvahana.
Wait, isn't he the one who...
Yes, he comes back into the story during the Kurukshetra war. But for now, he grew up in Manipur, trained to rule with wisdom and strength, just like his parents.
And Arjun?
He honored his word. After some time, he continued his exile, leaving Chitrangada and Manipur. They may have parted ways in geography, but their bond and their son's destiny remained deeply rooted. As Arjun's exile continued, his journey took a romantic turn, one that had been in his heart since his time at Drana's ashram. Back then, he had heard stories, whispers really, about a radiant princess from Dwaraka, Krishna's half-sister. Her name was Subhadra.
Arjun is turning out to be quite the lover boy. I think this whole exile is a romantic turn. Well, this is going to be juicy, isn't it?
You could say that. Fast forward into the exile. Arjun, still bound by his vow, arrived in Dwaraka in disguise, dressed as an ascetic. But Krishna, he knew at once.
Of course he did. Krishna probably said, nice try, Arjun. I invented disguises.
Pretty much. But Krishna also saw through Arjun's heart. When Arjun revealed he wished to marry Subhadra, Krishna supported the match, but warned him. My elder brother, Balaram, has someone else in mind.
Wait, don't tell me. Let me guess. I think, and you're going to be surprised, it's Duryodhan.
You guessed it.
What? Really?
Yep. Balaram had promised Subhadra to Duryodhan without even asking her. Krishna, always the strategist, helped Arjun craft a plan. With Balaram's reluctant blessing, the ascetic was allowed to stay in Subhadra's garden. And over time, she began to care for him.
Oh, so she fell in love with the ascetic, and air quotes here, Arjuna, without knowing he was Arjun.
Exactly. He would tell her tales of the Pandavas, not revealing his true identity. And one day, when he realized she too had fallen for him, he revealed who he truly was.
That's bold. But I think at some level she might have figured out who he was.
They followed the Kshatriya custom of the time. With her consent, Arjuna eloped with Subhadra. Krishna himself drove the chariot.
Krishna is the getaway driver. That's a scene I would pay to watch for.
Balaram was furious when he heard the news, but Krishna calmed him down, explaining everything, especially Subhadra's choice. Eventually, Balaram gave his blessing, and the couple was married in Dwaraka.
Cool. Quite an adventurous exile. No wonder he wanted to go on one. Instead of one wife, he now has 4.
Well, yeah, the exile was now over, and Arjun returned to Indraprastha with Subhadra.
So, what happened when they got to Indraprastha? I'm guessing Draupadi wasn't exactly thrilled. I mean, if the husbands were feeling jealous, she might feel the same way.
Yeah, she wasn't thrilled. Draupadi was deeply hurt and had secluded herself. Arjun knew he couldn't face her directly. So once again, Subhadra stepped in with humility. Dressed as a simple cowherd, she approached Draupadi with respect, placing her belongings before her and saying,
I am your maid. I'm Krishna's sister.
That one gesture, gentle, sincere, melted Draupadi's heart. Subhadra didn't come to compete. She came to belong. Draupadi embraced her, not just as Arjun's wife, but as her own sister.
That's honestly beautiful. Love, humility, a little bit of mischief from Krishna, tying it all together.
And from this union was born a son, Abhimanyu, a warrior with the fire of Arjun and the grace of Krishna's bloodline. But that, my friends, is a story for another day. So, while most people think exile means stillness and suffering, for Arjun, it became a path of transformation.
He didn't just wander. He learned, he loved, he left behind legacies and heirs across the land.
Next time, we're switching things up. You've seen Krishna pop up in our stories, giving advice, driving chariots, calming down feuds. But who is he really?
That's right. We shared his birth story and childhood adventures with you in season 1. But with Krishna being as mischievous as he was, he's bound to have more adventures. Spoiler alert, they include evil uncles, beautiful gopis, and some seriously epic battles.
So join us next time on Mythical Masala with Neev as we dive into the colorful, mysterious, and totally awesome world of Krishna. See you soon, and until then, keep your arrows sharp, your hearts open, and your curiosity ready for adventure. Thanks for joining me on another magical adventure here at Mythical Masala with Neev. I hope you enjoyed today's tale and learned something new about the legends of ancient India. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Got questions or a favorite myth you love to hear? Send them my way. You can follow us at Mythical Masala Podcast on social media for more updates, behind the scenes fun, and to be part of our mythical community. Make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family and have them join in on the fun. Until next time, remember, every great adventure starts with a little curiosity and imagination. See you soon!